We go again. We're live. I believe we're live. Hopefully we'll have a few live. Going live initially. There we go. Let's just get this all set up. There we are. This is how it's done on the fly. That's what we got to do on the fly. Let's get a connection in here now. I don't know if Debbie McGee is watching. Let's get the computer on. If you want to join me this morning, you can, and you can just call the number, which is 07795 664 002. I got one live viewer. That's absolutely fine. We're going to see if we can get the live stream up now at the moment. And is it as if by magic? Yes, just checking. There we go. Just checking. Maybe Debbie McGee would like to make a cup of tea. I'm not quite sure or not. But let's have a look now. Just get this up. Go through the pre-nuptials of. There we go. DIY Adventure. Tuning in live from the gym. Where's the gym? Good to see you, bud. Welcome, DIY Adventure. Absolutely fantastic. Aaron Whitelock, morning, John. Tuning in from not so sunny Swansea. Aaron, I'll be down there soon. I'll be down Swansea soon, doing a job down there. You come along and have a look, and maybe bring me a bacon sandwich or a sausage sandwich. 7 live viewers. Don't forget mine when you join. Ali, good morning, bud. How's it going? Love the big kiss and beautiful day. Good morning to you, mate. Hope you're well. Ali, where are you calling from this morning? Where are you tuning in from? Hey, it's great to have all you guys on here now. 7 straight away. Don't forget mine. Say who you are, where you're from, and what we want, because other viewers that are watching this live stream, I think, should I turn the light off behind me? All good, mate. From Peterborough. Ali's from Peterborough. Good man. Good man. Do I turn the light off behind me? Do you think that makes some difference if I turn the light off? That's not good at all. Always concerned about the light. All looks fine, says DIY Adventure. That'll do me. That's what I want. I'll get the light just hidden behind me now. Let me see if I can get the live feed up on my channel, because what it does, it enables me to. There we go. It enables me to see who's speaking as long as I turn the sound down on here. We've got 10 watching now. Start streaming 2 minutes ago. Turn the volume down. There we are. And what happens on there? Let's have a look now. No, it's full screen. Just get back down that way. But there we are. I've got to see everyone. I can see everyone on there now. You can see the comments. It makes it a lot more easier on there. Celia Landscaping. I'm good. I'm good. John Ward's joined us. Good morning, John. It's good to have John on here. Is it? I need to get my glasses on. I don't know. Any chance of any glasses? Oh, I've got them. Let's have a look now. CC Lear or C Clear Landscaping. I'm good. Look, 10 live viewers. Don't forget, that's what I was going to say. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. YouTube like the algorithms to work, and how they make it work is by giving it a big thumbs up. We've got 11 live viewers on there. See if you can give it a like. Be so good for you guys to actually give it a like. Really, really appreciate it if you can actually do that. That'll be good. Don't forget my Saturday Morning Live with Johnyboy. Let's get on with it. Saturday Morning Live is supported by those guys at ITS. We're going to get the ITS site up now, because what they're doing something really, really quite special. And you know, I got to say, it'd be absolutely fantastic, having ITS on here. And yes, they want your money. I got to say this because we need to sort of make it clear that. We all want, everybody wanting money is actually, it's not a bad thing. It can be a good thing. So ITS, come on here. There we are. I've got it on here. Let's have a little look at what they've got. Just turn it around, turn to the screen. There it is. I don't know if you can actually see that the right way around. 10-day double discount, clear out 10-day. Extra 5% when you spend 5 items. Listen, it's a sales. It's a sales thing, and it actually works. Thank you very much, Mrs. McGee. There she is. She's bought me some glasses. Yeah, 10-day double discount. What they've said to me, it's ITS, is that with inflation rising like it is, what they want to try and do, they want to give something back. So it's not all about them, and it's not all about the money for that with them as well. So they want to give something back to you guys. So 10-day double discount, clear out, check out the video. We're going to check out, that's Richie. Have a little look at Richie. Should we just watch that just for a sec? I know you're joining. Let's see what he has to say. 8 days now, 13 hours. They've got a little clock on it there. Let's see what he says. Let's turn the volume up.
Event is now on, and we want to get
Let's go back.
full of power tools, hand tools, workwear, accessories, and much more. And right now, our 10-day double discount clear out event is now on, and we want to get this stuff off our shelves and into your hands. At ITS, we're well aware of the challenges with the new cost of living, which is why we're here to help you out. So as energy, gas, and material prices are skyrocketing up, and our prices are coming down.
Look, you've got to take your hat off to him. I don't want to spend much time with that now. But look, you know, how many companies have we actually seen out there? Like when we're dealing with merchants and suppliers, beautiful day up in the Midlands, boys, beer garden stuff. John Ward, listen, mate, I owe you an apology. I should have come and seen you the other day. No, seriously, let's have a little think about this for a moment, right? How many companies at the moment actually want to offer something back for your loyalty? But they're certainly good doing it there with ITS. It's absolutely fantastic what they're doing. And got to take my hat off to them straight away. Inflation's going through the roof. Prices, we've talked about this before on many occasions. We've talked about this sort of thing and what, with companies, what they're giving back to us as, contractors and consumers. We've got a little battle going on down here. Behave yourselves now. Stop. So there we are. So have a little look. Aaron Whitelock says sausage sandwich is not a problem with coffee. Aaron, I'd love to talk to you, mate. We are heading down to Swansea and we've got a job. I can't remember the exact area, but it is happening. The DIY venture, John, good one for me today is cutting Indian sandstone. Slab, if you can cover it off, anything in particular using a steel saw, cutting a sandstone slab, if you can cover it off. Not quite sure. Let me just read that again. Is cutting Indian sandstone slab, if you can cover it off, anything in particular using steel saw? Look, I'm sorry, but DIY adventure, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. If you can cover it. You have to explain that one to me. Sorry, bud. Beautiful day off in the Midlands, says John Ward. Aaron Whitelock says, I have a property development company in Swansea, John. Welcome to pop in the yard when you're down here. We're starting a large project down Swansea Marina next week. Also, plenty of sarnies down there. Aaron, I would love to come and see you. Aaron, I don't know what you think, but I'm considering, all right, I got some news about a meetup, okay, a national meetup across the country. But it'd be good to have one in Wales and somewhere else across the country. John Ward, if you're interested in having a meetup and you want to get some local landscapers across, I can get there for the day. Let's have one of those little micro meetups. Yeah, a micro meetup. But there's a big meetup happening, hopefully at the end of the summer, probably just breaking into the fall. And I'm going to say who that's with. And hopefully, because I believe that you can talk about things and you're not necessarily giving yourself bad up. But there's a paving company called styled.co.uk. They're a new porcelain company. There's lots of companies out there doing, but they've got a little bit of a different approach to customer service. And I've spoke to them about this. And they want to showcase their product for you. So I think they're prepared to have a meetup. It's a national meetup. It'll be down there in Banbury in Oxford. So that'll be happening. Just meaning if you can explain in today's live, please. Just meaning if you explain in today's live. Good day, just mean if you can explain in today's life. Yeah, cutting sandstone. Yeah, what do we want to know about it? That's the thing. Cutting sandstone. Sandstone's pretty easy to cut, isn't it, John Ward? You can do it with disc cutters, you can do it with a 9-inch grinder, you can do it with a bolster. Okay, that's how we used to do it years ago. With sandstone and pennant, we'd use the bolster and we'd put it on some sand and we would wet it to take the vibration out. So you get that line across it and then we would go along with a nice sharp bolster. John Ward says, oh yes, love to, just need a bit of notice, lads. John Ward, listen, we've got to speak, John. And John, I've got to say, every week I'm always thanking you. People must think that you're my favourite. You probably are. And listen, all you guys supporting this channel is absolutely great. What you'll find is, if you've watched the live feeds before now, you'll see that people start talking to each other and helping each other out. That's what it's about. It's about building a community. Don't forget, guys, come on. There's only 4 likes on here. for the 10 of you that are watching, come on and give it a big thumbs up. What I was going to do, I was going to turn my phone to flight mode, but I was running a bit late as per usual. It's what I do. Never always on time. For my customers I am generally, but for you guys, and you're not my customers, you're my friends, so I could be forgiven for that. 5 likes now, absolutely fantastic. Hey guys, so guys and girls I should say, rather, I had a bit of a run up last week to Shifnal, which is near Bridge North. I went up to see Barry and his wife, and they've had a really bad job done. I was going up there hopefully to actually grout the patio, cut it out and regrout it. But on my arrival, it quickly became apparent that all the paving was basically, if it's not loose now, it's becoming loose. There was loads and loads of hollows underneath the paving. We checked it. We just did that. There's nothing technical about it. We tapped it with our hand and tapped it with a wooden mallet, and it's basically hollow underneath. You could hear the acoustics. You could hear it changing underneath. And what there was obvious and was in evidence. There was lots and lots of cracking, fractures all through the paving continually. Of course, it's a community, nothing more important than meeting, connecting and helping your fellow tradesmen. I shall send you over my email, John. Aaron, I'd love to meet you, mate. We are heading down that way. We've got like about 110 square meters, I think it's 110. I think I got the right job, but it's down in Swansea. We've been given the go-ahead. This is from 2 years ago, Aaron. We went down there nearly 2 years ago, and unfortunately they couldn't get on with it because of the COVID thing. Look, 6 likes. Come on, let's get it up to 9. These live feeds need the likes on there, and they need the comments. Keep your comments coming. I want to know where you are this morning, where you're from. Even if you watch this at a later date, just put it in the comments, just where you watch it. We normally have one of the lads across the pond in the United States that watches this live. He gets up especially to watch it, but he hasn't been on here for a few weeks, so he must be finding me a little bit bored. 8 likes, good to see. So anyway, getting back with the story, went up there and I checked the patio out, and for you guys, you know, I think they're putting a slurry on the back, and it's a bridge bond with your laying mortar, and I think a lot of people aren't putting it on correctly, and in this case it wasn't. And the biggest problem would have been that if it is the case that this patio is going to have to be relaid, what you end up with when you start lifting the slabs, you're going to have areas on the back of the slab that's going to have mortar on it, and other areas that isn't going to have mortar on there. Then you've got to spend time cleaning it up, and it's not good at all. Super mom. I'm watching in New Zealand. Mainly watch your videos because I love the way you say porcelain. I walk around the house saying porcelain like you drives the missus nuts. Love your videos. Cheers, mate. I don't know. Listen, first of all, I really, really appreciate that message. It's absolutely fantastic. All the way there from New Zealand. It just goes to show that the reach you can actually have on the internet. That's absolutely amazing. And like I said, we have somebody from the States that tunes in, and to have you guys from New Zealand tuning in, it's absolutely fantastic. And I don't know how it's coming over, how I'm saying porcelain. I'm not sure. Ali says, love it. Yeah, Ali, it's fantastic, isn't it? Brilliant. It's good to see people on here. And listen, Super Mom, tries the Mrs. Nuts loves your videos. Cheers, mate. No, we love you joining that. Be nice to know exactly in New Zealand where you're from in New Zealand. Hey guys, listen, it just goes to show you that you know, when you're producing content for your business to get out there on social media, it's amazing the reach that you can have. So never ever discount what you're doing on social media, because the world is your oyster without a shadow of a doubt. The big FB, IJV and the gang, I'm late but I'm here. Hey bud, good to see you, glad you're here. The big FB, he's on here. He's one of our regulars with John Ward and Ali, and you know, and Aaron as well. When Aaron's on here as well, people watch this at a later date. It was amazing the other week when I went up to Shifnal in near Bridge North to have a look at that patio. Could talk about that all day, but it was great to see young Kieran of MJK near Kidderminster, John. Do you know MJK timber supplies and fencing supplies? and all that products. And Kieran recognised me, and he was really good when he got me straight. He just went straight down. He said, "John, let me get you a price list." Yeah, absolutely fantastic. John Ward says, "Yeah, don't like the relaying always leads to believe that the slabs that give their best section away on a mission to debond." Yeah, absolutely. Shy away, to be honest. Yeah, I think so, John. I think so. I think what happens, John, in that situation, when you actually look at the time on the back of the porcelain, how do you say it in New Zealand? I want to know. Send me a recording. I want to hear how you say porcelain. On the back of the porcelain, what you'll find is that you're going to have some mortar in places and some where you're not. Then how do you bed that down? Can you leave it on? It's just going to take more time. When you're putting a slab down, you want it, or a paving unit or whatever you lay, you want it nice and clean apart from the slurry that you put on the back. The last thing that you actually want is big lumps of mortar on the back. All that's going to have to be cleaned off if you're going to lay it correctly. So difficult to try and lay, John. Can you imagine the difficulty in laying that with lumps on the back? You're going to have to clean it all off, and then what happens is when you clean it off, you're making a dust, you're making a mess. It's not just the time that it takes to clean off the back, it takes the time to clean up all the dust. And then the damage that could possibly be caused when you're moving the porcelain around, it's going to get chipped. There's no doubt about it. You know, you see all too often when you're unloading this product, I don't want to say it no more, you're unloading the product, they have those little plastic clips on the corner to stop it being chipped. So if you go through that process, it's just time and money. In my opinion, it probably, I don't know what you guys think, it's probably the best thing to do would be to just buy new. Just buy new. If you want that patio, it's okay to relay. And the fortunate thing for their patio, for Barry and his wife, when you look at it initially, when you walk in, it looks nice. But then on close inspection, you can see the airline cracks, the faults. It's almost like looking where you see a foundation on a wall where the crack is followed all through the mortar, 10 likes, 10 people watching. That's massive. Absolutely, thank you for that. Yeah, you know, so all those airline cracks, it just wasn't good. You could hear the hollowing. It's going to delaminate. And the thing is, it was a lower point to the garden. The garden had a retaining wall, and there was it was very clayey, and there was water. Obviously, that's going to come down underneath. And this guy had put this gravel by the retaining wall and towards the house in places, but you just don't know how deep that gravel is, and is it the right gravel? You know, is it river eroded pebbles where the water can run through there? John Ward said it's time consuming. Can you get more because of breakages? So renew. Yeah, absolutely. John, you're right. You know, you've paid all that money for a patio. You want a good patio. It's not good at all. I don't like relaying. Always lead to believe that slabs give their best suction away and on a mission to bond. Yeah, absolutely. Just like reading what John says. Gareth Jones has joined us. Morning, John and Alison. Gareth, good morning. How are you, mate? Just let you know, we actually have fibre in the house now, and we're getting it over to the undisclosed location, so we'll be able to film from there soon. I filmed from there the other week, and it was great filming from there, but the only problem was that we need some more lighting in there, and we're working on that now. But you've got to remember is that I want to get the studio up and running. I've been talking about this for a long time, but it all costs money to actually do it. There's lots of things I want to show you in there, and just get the cameras up so you can actually, we can flip those cameras around from different angles. It's going to happen, all right? And the reason it's going to happen because I'm a doer and not a don'ter. Good news, Alison, worked magic. Yeah, Gareth. For you guys who's watching now this morning, Gareth on here taught our daughter in primary school, and he still is a great teacher now. Such a lovely guy, always happy, and it was good to see him the other week, and thank you, Gareth, for all your hard work and your advice. So really, really appreciate that. Just to give you the heads up, so the studio is coming. It is happening. We're trying to get the podcast sign up there. I don't mind showing you that at any time. We can go in there anytime and have a look. If you guys want me to have a walk around there now, I don't mind taking the camera out. As long as I don't lose the signal, we can go in there and we can check it out and just see if there's anything you like. What I have actually got it there, which I wanted to show, and I want to get up on a stand, is how I've got a sample of paving that I've laid. And I've laid this paving. What I've actually done, I've laid it on another porcelain slab, and I've cut some of the porcelain units up into 9 pieces, equal pieces. And what we've done, we've laid it on a dry mix. I've slurried the back of the porcelain, the one complete unit, and I've laid these individuals on there. And do you know, it's been there 2.5 years and it's absolutely solid. It's not moving anywhere at all whatsoever. And what I should have done, I should have grouted it to see if there was any movement. Go back to Grant Temple. Good morning, Grant. John, a quick question. What's the best thing for sticking sandstone slips to brick face? Interesting. What you need to do with that, Grant, I would say use an exterior adhesive. And I would probably, I don't know what John Ward actually thinks of this, or any of you guys think of this, but I would use that. It's just a no-brainer for me. Mapai exterior rapid set. You can get the rapid set. It works really quick. Got to watch it, got to catch it, but it won't move. The thing that you have to consider is with sandstone is whether you prime that before you put the exterior adhesive on there. Do you need it? I'm not quite sure. But what you'll find is clean off the clean off the unit, the sandstone, make sure it's nice and clean, get the dust off, because when they calibrate the sandstone, you get copious amounts of dust accumulating on the back. So wash it off, let it dry, and then what you can do, I don't think it's always good to put water on there again for it to stick. I think you can just put the Mapai on. But what I would do, the best advice I can actually give you is to actually phone Mapai, their technical department, and they'll have somebody to speak to. But to be honest, of course, and I keep forgetting them, Bal Adhesives in Stoke-on-Trent, you can give them a ring. Dave up there is an absolute fantastic lecturer in tiling, and they're doing some exterior stuff now. They're doing some of those exterior bedding mortars. For those of you who we've spoke about this before, but there's lots of companies producing bedding mortars now. It's not just the adhesives or the slurry primers. It's amazing what they're producing, isn't it? You know, all the new products that they're producing, for whatever reason, they produce products because of a problem. So, not that it was a problem with bedding mortars, you know, in some respects, you know, look how the Romans laid paving. It was all about compaction. Compaction is key to building roads. If you compact, it's consolidated, it's not gonna move. But we do want a little bit of movement. We were always taught when you're laying paving that your mortar joints should always be weaker than your actual laying product, the product you're laying, to allow a little bit of that flexibility. And the beauty about working with some of these companies that are out there now, they put these polymers in, which it's all about the molecules. You said that wrong then. And it's all about the molecules, and it's those that give it the flexibility. Molecules, yeah, so interesting. There's lots of words we use in the industry on a regular basis because we use the vernaculars to actually describe the industry words that we're using. So we've got to sort of get on with that and start learning the vernaculars and the words, because it's quite impressive in some respect, like, you know. The big FB says, I have to lay some blocks for a couple of raised beds. The longest run is 4.5 meters. I'm not a builder. Do I need to support the pillar at the halfway point? I'm thinking about 3 blocks high on their thin edge. 3 blocks high. I would say 2 blocks high, you're okay. But going to 3 blocks, I think you need a pillar then. But I wouldn't go any higher than that. And if I was going to do a pillar, you could probably go probably every 1.8. But to be honest, the cost of it to build pillars, you could probably just do it in, maybe you don't want to do it all in 9-inch, but I would go probably every metre. Then you start saying to yourself, you're using a lot of blocks, but 1.8 should be enough for a raised bed. But what you've got to try and do, with raised beds, it's always too important. If you imagine, if I use this coaster now, if that was the back of the wall and that's the face of the wall, this is the back, that's the face, what you're going to have to do if you've got a raised bed, you're going to have to tank the back of the wall to stop all the moisture ingression coming through, especially with block work, and especially if you're going to render it as well. Because if you're going to render it, what happens is all the moisture is going to come through and eventually the render will pop. And it's important that you use a breathable tanking solution, okay? A breathable tanking solution to let that block breathe. It needs to breathe. And it seems a bit sort of crazy that you're using tanking solutions to stop the moisture coming through, but it needs to be breathable. They do work. Instamac do an absolute fantastic tanking solution. A slurry that you can put on the back of the wall is so important. Grant Temple, that's great, John. Grant, look, no problem. There are lots of other people on here that can give you the advice where I don't, where I can't give you. It's as simple as that. I don't know it all. I wish I did. I thought I did when I was 19, but the fact is I don't. The Big FB said, or should I lay them flat on their backs? Yeah, absolutely. You've said it. You've worked it yourself. Go 9-inch. And I think that'd be absolutely fine. It's only an extra little cost in blocks, and you know that you're going to have that integrity and longevity just for the sake of a few blocks, bud. It'd be good to see what you're doing. But look, this channel is nothing without you guys joining on it. 13 likes. We had 14 then. I was hoping to get a 14th like on there. People come and go. John Ward says, yes, Mapai adhesive. It's used Tostic tiles to swimming pools. There we are. Use What's Tostic tiles, John, in swimming pools? Yeah, absolutely. John, I don't know if you remember years ago, there was a product called Marbleine, and Marbleine was a product that you rendered your wall with, and it was an amazing product, and you just roughed a little bit like K-render, but obviously for the insides of swimming pool. We used to get it from a company in West Wales here. I can't remember what they're called, but it's called Marbleine. It's an amazing product. That was absolutely years ago. I remember working for Chris Agland, if anybody's watching this and they're on from Blackwood or in that area, Caerphilly area. Chris Agland, a cracking guy, one of the best clients I ever had. And I never forget when he used to give me my check. He used to get paid by check years ago, not transfers. And he'd write on the envelope my name. And my name sometimes was Robbing Hood, and I'm going to say it because it's not swear, or Robbing Bastard, or Dick Turpin used to put, because he said, I said, why'd you put that here? Because he said, you're a Robin so-and-so. So sorry about the profanities, but it's not swearing as such. It's a description of a word. Big FP says, thanks, JB. There you are. Aaron says, fantastic product, John Ward. Yeah, it is. Mapai is just amazing. But Lee and I have been using a bow product this week because we had some available. And unless I get down there on Monday morning, but it's gone off solid. It's gone, we've been putting coping stones on, and it's gone off absolutely solid. The Big FC says, will pics when I will email pics when I arrive. If you want to drop me an email, 17 live viewers at the moment. If you want to drop me an email with a question, or you got a question now, put it on here now, because there are plenty of people that have the experience that actually give you some answers. Certainly John Ward is one of them on here now. John, what do you reckon of this channel? Is it going good? I had Justin from Brickwright phone me this week. We were talking to Justin. It's a shame Justin wasn't on here. And it's a shame that I couldn't help him out this week. Unfortunately, I couldn't get him a side stand for his table, his Ruby table. John Ward says that to stick tiles beneath the waterline. Right. Is that amazing? There we are. John Ward's coming up with that. I've seen that sort of stuff around. It's amazing what's out there. The new products that have been around for some times, and we think it's like revolutionary, but it's just been around for some times. It's just absolutely amazing what is actually out there. But what we have to do, the beauty of what we've got now, we've got the internet. We can go on there, we can do a search, and we can find out about. We can just find out about anything, can't we? Really, but the big but is we've got to make sure that we don't necessarily believe in everything that we see on the internet. It's not always a good thing to believe in what you actually see on the internet, but it is a place, a resource place. And I think if you start watching a number of videos or reading some information, you can start working out it yourself and start rationalizing about the information that you're receiving. Yeah, it's out there. It's out there. You don't need me. You don't need this channel to find some of the things. Sometimes it's there. It's available. 13 likes, 13 viewers. Absolutely fantastic. We've nearly hit the halfway mark, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Yeah, so bit of an update. Here we go now. Big FB says, I'd be up the creek without a paddle if your channel and watchers was not there. Yeah, and I agree. Look, I did some rendering this week. I'm not a plasterer, I'm not a renderer, and it's actually come up pretty good, and I'm pleased with it. But apparently I did it wrong. Well, let me just say this. My method getting on the wall was probably, I'm actually pretty good using trowel. With a trowel, I got it on the wall actually good. It's stuck well. We've tanked the wall. It's not going to blow. We've got a good finish on it, and it's nice and straight and flat. The ugly wall that was there before, so it's a massive improvement, and our Barry was happy with it. So I think we've achieved. Well, I know we've achieved, and we're happy. But not everybody will agree at how you do things when they see things on here. So you've got to understand how difficult it can be running a YouTube channel. You think you got tough skin, but when you get on here, you start realizing that your skin is not that tough. So yeah, it can be a brutal place, this internet. But if it wasn't for you guys that keep driving me on, I think I would have shut it down ages ago. No, but seriously, I've been rendering this week, so we got the wall on, we got the coping stones on, and I did a little video on my Instagram account where I was cutting I was putting a little slice down with a super thin mesh blade, and then I was running the fluting blade. Okay, it's a little fluting wheel that runs along and creates that U shape for the water to drip off, creating that capillary groove. So it's fantastic using that, and that's a massive thanks to Henry from Elite Stone Tools. He sent it this week for me as well. Eventually it arrived, and it had but our postman decided to put the recorded delivery thing in somebody else's letterbox, so that was the reason I didn't have that. So I apologize for that, Henry. And if you're looking for any blades or any advice on cutting, just give Henry a ring at Elite Stone Tools. John Ward says, yeah, great information, great advice, all around. Yeah, all of us. Yeah, absolutely. We're all in this together. That's what it's about. It's about making life easy. And we spoke about this before years ago. You never used to have this vibrant channel of information, a resource place where you can come and get the information and talk to somebody. God, I wish somebody would bring me a cup of tea or a bottle of water, because I'm absolutely thirsty in here, and I can't leave you on this live stream. 14 likes, 15 people watching, absolutely fantastic. Aaron, one of our local boys, has something to say. Unfortunately, have to sign off, John. Thanks for the continued content. We'll send over an email and hopefully meet up soon. Aaron, without a shadow of a doubt, I want to see what you're doing down there, and it'd be great to get down Swansea. Love visiting the place. Great people down there, and had a couple of nights out there many times in the past, and down by the Mumbles, a couple of good pubs there. And but this channel isn't about drinking and doing those sorts of things. It's about supporting people. So let's get on with it now. So next week, I'm going to try and bring you a live feed. That's on the Sunday. I will be able to do the live feed from here next Saturday. But on the Sunday, I'm flying out to Barcelona. We're going out to see Ruby in the factory there. And hopefully, I'm going to do some video content while I'm there, and to put some content out, some social media content out on my Instagram and Facebook account, and show you a little bit about Ruby and what's going on. And it's amazing. Apparently the factory out there where they produce the product, it's done there in Barcelona. Not all of it's done in China like people think it is. They do a lot of stuff there. So hopefully I'll be able to get out there, pull the machine out, and maybe ask one of the reps a little bit more about it. Not for the Easily Knocked is a YouTube channel. No, all trolls and mean people. Yeah, they are, John, but it's people like me, like you. If there was 1,000 trolls, knowing you, I've got your support. It keeps me going and driving forward. So I really, really appreciate that. I gotta say, my apologies sometimes when I miss a weekend, and that's the reason. The reasons for that is because I've got a life like all of you, you know. And when we think about the time we give to people, you know, that's our life. We got to value what we're doing. And this is the thing when people talk to me about pricing, is that you really got to know your value and value yourself. And don't be cheap. You are priceless. You know, every hour that you give to anyone is your time. It's your life. And when you're given that time, the clock doesn't stop ticking. So don't think that we need to work. Okay, but everything we do, we need to be more effective, and our time management should be more important. And as you know, I always allow an hour for this live stream this morning. And if I feel it's got to be cut short at any time, I will do it. I don't want to just run out. Ali says, the trolls, mate. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I said, XXX, the trolls, mate. You do quality work and the right frame of mind when doing it. Yeah, you know, I'll tell you something now, Ali, mate. Even for me, I make mistakes, but I'm prepared to share it on social media. But this morning, I don't want you to think that I'm feeling the victim at the moment. I don't want you to think I'm actually feeling the victim, because I'm not. You guys are good for my mental health. Not that my mental health is actually suffering in any way. My mental health, I really believe, is good. The only thing is with me, when I'm doing these live streams, it takes me back to when I was a kid in class. I did like a little bit of attention, and not necessarily show off. There's nothing to show off about being on here at the moment. And you know, when you think about what I'm doing on my channel, right, and your channel, right, is the fact that I'm going grey, I'm going bald, I'm putting a little bit of weight on, my skin's getting a little bit more stretchy, you know, I'm looking a little bit worse for wear these days to when I started out. I was only looking back the other day, I think it's 7-8 years now since the channel's going, and I had black hair, and like I said, I was a little bit thin on top, but not like I am now. Maybe I should go to Turkey and get a transplant. If anybody is in Turkey now, is actually watching and want to support this channel, I will support you if you support me, and think about maybe I should do the hair transplant. You can't actually see it, like, but there we are. But it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't worry about things like that. It's no problem at all. So, but if anybody from Turkey wants to give me a free hair transplant, no problem at all. Ali says, we like a bit of attention, mate, and you look good, mate. You again, beautiful. Cheers, man. I really appreciate that. I'm actually Turkish, mate. Are you really? Ali, that's fantastic. And if you guys have been to Turkey in the past, you go out there and you can have a real great laugh for those guys out there. I met a guy called Murat the other week up in London, and he was good as well. He had a lot of integrity. And hey, I heard that the Turkish economy is absolutely going through the roof at the moment. That the economy in Turkey is just, the inflation rate is just absolutely gone bonkers, Ali. Have you seen anything about it? I mean, they have to report certain amounts of different products I was listening to, but the inflation rate's gone up. Look, guys, what we got to do at times like this, when we see these things happening around the world, don't read into the news too much. Don't watch the news too much. You probably need to watch the news once a day, and don't keep watching the repeated stories that they are out there. It's always good to know what's going on, you know, and to watch different channels, get a different perspective on channels and how they're delivering the news. Don't always believe what you actually hear. But you've got to remember is that when we keep watching the news the way some of us do sometimes when we get dragged into it, it can be quite depressing. So don't watch it so much, and you know, and don't take it all as gospel, as they say, because it's not a good place to be, to keep watching the news over and over again, because it can actually get you down. So what we got to do, it's almost like a dripping tap, and I almost think that what they do sometimes, and they probably don't realise it. Well, they probably do realise it. When I used to watch Sky News when we had the last recession, the last time, it was just the news over and over again about the recession. It was like a dripping tap. And I remember saying to Alison, why don't they just stop talking about negativity all the time? Why don't they report about some school children doing really well, and, you know, just a positive story? It doesn't matter how big the story is, but do a positive story. That's what we need. We need positivity, and that's what they seem to do, is deliver the depressing images all the time. We need to see it, but watch the news from another angle. It's not a good thing. So try and keep yourself upbeat and motivated, and keep being focused about what you're doing. So when we look at the economy and the potentials of a recession, we can get around it, and we can talk about that. That's what this channel's about, and we can talk about that in depth, and we can touch upon it now. If you've got any questions on how we get through these tough lean periods, we can talk about it. And I'm sure some of our members on this group this morning, some of our viewers can actually help out. Sorry, my head's gone. Alison said to me the other day, she says, I'm sure that's stuff, your memory's going. You know, she thinks that, I probably think she thinks I've got Alzheimer's. Like, but then I was reading the other day that sometimes that people forget things because they only remember the important things. They put all that stuff to one side. There's a bit of a thought process about that. I mean, how many of you guys and girls actually remember everything? Ali says, I'm actually Turkish, mate. It's at a roller coaster at the moment, mate. The economy was doing well, and when the rest of the world was struggling, yeah, I think, do you know, Ali, it goes on everywhere, mate, honest. Brad Lamarck, don't watch the news and don't watch and read papers. Do you know, when I was 19, I'll tell you now, hands up, I always used to buy The Sun. I was a Linda Lusardi fan as a young lad, but those days are over, and I'm certainly not a Linda Lusardi fan now. I am a fan of my wife, and you know, yeah, reading the papers, just a load of rubbish. Sensationalizing things, selling papers, that's what they do. I watched a program the other week about Gaza. Whatever you think about Gaza, but I tell you what, I think he had a raw deal with the papers, the war between the Sun and the Mirror at the time. For those of you who remember, Robert Maxwell and Piers Morgan was at, I think he went to the Sun eventually, but they didn't care. They just didn't care anything for a story, anything for a story. Emma Hollingsworth, I'm not even a landscaper, but found your videos by accident. Love watching them as it's helped with ideas of my garden, which is very problematic. Emma, we are here to help. If you want to send a picture of your garden, we can have a look at it. If you need some help or anything, we can do a post, and you know, it's entirely up to you. We can do anything to try and help you and support you. So, but really, thanks for your message this morning. Really appreciate it. Just remember, don't forget to like it and share this channel. If you'd like it, support the channel by getting out there. I just want to get to some more subscribers. It'd be good to do that, because you see a little bit of progress. Sometimes it just holds back and it starts to roll on forward, and then it just holds back again. I want it to keep the momentum going. Brad Lamarck says, that's MSM for you, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Mainstream media, totally. Chris C, it's so, do we use all these acronyms all the time? Like, we've become, in the civilian world, we've become almost like the military, using all these acronyms that, you know, it's crazy, isn't it? Chris C says, it's to keep you on a low vibration, to keep you unhappy. What an interesting eyesight. Yeah, a low vibration. Yeah, I think it is. We want something positive, don't we? We want something positive. Watch a channel like this, and we can actually sort of make things a little bit better for the people and try and be positive. If anybody wants any advice on anything, now's your time to speak. We're at 42 minutes. We've got about 15 minutes left, and then we're going to be calling it a day. But I'm still here at the moment. I'm absolutely fine. No problem at all. Ali says, Sam Fox man. Kiss. Yeah. Yes, Sam Fox man. Yeah, sorry. Ali, yeah, Sam Fox. Yeah, I remember her. But listen, we can't start talking about those sorts of things. It's that, not that sort of channel. It's here. It's about you and to support you. The big FB said, it's out of your control. Then don't worry. Out of it because you can't change it. No, you can't change it. You can't change what they're actually doing, so just ignore it. Anthony Cairn says, what's your best advice to combat clay garden that would like to returf because of flooding? Well, what we've got to think about clay, Anthony, initially in drought conditions, clay at some points, because it's holding that moisture, can actually be beneficial to a lawn. Some lawns that drain quickly, it's not good for that, but it's about getting the right conditions. What I would suggest is that you can actually remove an amount of that clay from the garden, try and strip off all the vegetation. That can break down. You can reintroduce that organic matter. You need good aeration in a lawn. And then the other thing, of course, is that clay lawns are notorious for moss growing into them, because that's a clear sign of water retention. But what you do is, if it was my garden, I would strip off all the vegetation and the soil. I'd break it all up, mix it all in. Then you can rake off the final bits after. That doesn't matter, because that will break down. That will create air pockets for all the microorganisms to come down and to create organic matter, because you want the worm activity to sort of start recycling and bringing all that organic matter down and start creating that good aeration that you need underneath. But then what I would do, I would still pull that vegetation to one side and that good topsoil, and then I would take off some of the clay, okay? Then what I would do, get rid of that, and then when you're at that substrate, recondition that, make it, improve it, put a soil improver on it, break it up, loosen up, so then eventually when you add more soil, the worm activity will pull the soil back down amongst the clay and creating a greater depth of aeration. Again, you'd still need to take a little bit out. But they do say that a lawn will grow literally on 2 or 3 inches of soil. It doesn't need a great depth. But I would definitely take the clay out. But unfortunately, sometimes we have big gardens. Some of those old Victorian houses, those semi-detached, long driveways, they have long, big gardens at the front and the back. So I would get rid of the clay, and I would definitely reintroduce it, a soil improver, and then start adding any of the good soil that, if you did have any, on the top again. And then when you think about how you compact a lawn, a compaction of a lawn is good under foot compaction. You don't want any more than that. Great live feed this morning. I'm really enjoying this. It's good to have you on here. Welcome to Landscape Survival with Johnyboy. If you've just joined, don't forget that Landscape Survival, landscaping Saturday Live with Johnyboy, is supported by ITS. For those of you who are on Facebook who are contractors or landscapers, you can join the Landscape Survival group if you haven't, or if you are on there, or if you want to join on there, go on there and check it out. Join the Landscape Survival group. You need to fill out the application form so we can approve you. We had copious amounts of people trying to join lately, and we've declined a lot of people simply because they didn't fill the questionnaire. We've got to be really careful these days, because we don't want any sort of those fraudulent accounts trying to get in, those scammers, and they can cause problems. Chris C says they want you to think you can't change anything. They want you to think you're powerless. We are more powerful than you think. I think you're right there, Chris. And it's like channels like this, how we build these channels, all right, how we build the communities, how we become powerful. And that was one of the things I was talking about is this week and I've got it in a vlog. I haven't put it up yet on YouTube, but isn't it about time that we went back to these companies? And I spoke about this on so many occasions, is that what they're doing at the moment, they're putting the prices up, but they're putting the prices up on the old stock. Okay, they're putting the prices up on the old stock, and that's not fair at all. And in my recent vlog, I talk about, which I'll get at, I talk about price fixing. Price fixing is totally against the law. When we look at Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Waitrose, Asda, Morrison's, whoever they are, right? Say, for example, they can't all have the same price in tea bags, agree amongst themselves that that's what their price is going to be. That's price fixing, okay? That's controlling the marketplace. And if we were to do it as a community of landscapers, we had a meeting and we say, right, porcelain's got to be this, sandstone's got to be this, turfing's got to be this, when we put feather edge fence up, it's got to be this. That would be price fixing. That would be totally illegal. It needs to be a healthy, competitive marketplace, and you do that by avoiding the price fixing. But the thing that's puzzled me, and if somebody wants to put me right, why is it then when you see these independents, they go to these buying groups, they go to these buying groups and they buy in as a consortium to try and get it obviously as cheap as possible. But I'm sure there's price fixing going on there where they say you can't sell at a certain point. I don't know what your views is on that. This John Ward still here. I'd be interested to see what John has to say about that, you know, and these buying groups and whether they do fix the prices. Hey, wouldn't I like to be a fly on the wall? The thing is, remember, these buying groups, it's there to have a bit of a party. These prices agreed before they even get there. It's all done on the phone or on the golf course. We know it is. Emma Hollingsworth says, advice on stopping rhizomes from the neighbour's garden. I would like paving and decking, but the rhizomes are coming through under the wall. They can be an absolute pain, Emma. Honestly, I've had rhizomes in my vegetable box, and they've gone underneath, and they've tracked about, literally, honest, about 15 metres. Rhizomes come in many forms. It's not just bamboo. So what you need to do, you need to contain that, okay? If they're coming through from the neighbours, I would dig a bit of a channel, and you can get bamboo barrier, okay? Bamboo barrier, and you can put that down. But I think what you need to do, if you're brave enough, go around next door, knock on the door, and just explain to them about the rhizomes and the potential damage, what they're doing, the damage they're causing, and I'm sure, without a doubt, they will be active straight away, and they should be able to do something about it, literally just by chopping them off. But then you've got to pull them up your side, and they're an awful product to pull up. The nodules on there is absolutely awful, and if you pull them up and you leave a little bit in, and it starts growing, they can still be a problem. You just got to get on with it. That type of buying is 100% in a lot of trades, mate. Ali, it is, mate. It just goes on all the time. That type of buy, the way they're doing. And the one thing I told you, Ali, I'm gonna say, I gotta say this. All right, I gotta say this. One of our customers recently, cracking guy, Tony. He's on holiday in the Maldives, and I'm sure he's watching me now. No, may not. I don't think so. Anyway, Tony's out there. He's on holiday now at the moment, and I think he's back now. I'm not quite sure when he left or what, but he went away. And the thing I was going to talk about was that he bought slate. He bought it from Mandarin Stone down in Monmouth. This is fact, okay? Initially, I think it was about £23 for a 3cm, 900 by 600, £23 per unit. And then when we went to get some more, it went up to £40. That had nearly doubled, okay? That had nearly doubled in price. And I'm not sure if that was plus VAT or what, I don't know, I'm not quite sure about it, but that's absolutely ridiculous. But the thing is about it, I'm more concerned, Ali, is whether that unit was old stock. And they said, well, the price has gone up, and if they had like 1,000 square meters of old stock, and they've made money, honest. There are people making copious amounts of money during difficult times. If you can get through tough periods, i.e., I'm going to say it, didn't say the R word, recession. 1 second. Go, 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 go. I apologise. My apologies for that. Yeah, if you can get through rough periods like these recessions, you'll come through the other side, and there's ways of dealing with it. And what you need to do is that there's nothing wrong with talking about it. You can talk about it to your heart's content. It's absolutely fine. But what we got to try and do, we got to be positive, and we got to be able to not panic and keep our prices. Because what happens is when people panic, the marketplace starts fluttering, then it starts turning into a bit of a tremor, then it starts turning into an earthquake, and then you have a tsunami. So the thing is not to panic. Sick of Life says, morning Johnyboy, Steve, good to see you, glad you joined us. Always glad when you're on here. We've had such a good live feed this morning, thoroughly enjoyed with these people. We're on 51 minutes, 52 minutes nearly. Yeah, good to see you, Steve, glad you joined it. We're laying artificial grass today, lovely day for it. Steve, I'd love to see what you're doing, mate. I'd love to come down and see what you're doing sometime. It'd be good to see. Enjoy it. Have a great day. Remember that warm weather's coming out eventually. Don't start taking your shirt off unless you're handsome like me. No, seriously, you've got to think about when you're taking the shirt off, the damage that can be caused out there in the sun. So just think about that. You know, just be very careful. Get some sun cream on, some sunblock of some sort. Ali says, I worked electronics for many years and did a few years of purchasing, and minimum pricing structure is always put in place. In that trade, it was probably a factor to less profit. Yeah, absolutely. Ali, I'm loving the feedback that you're bringing to this live stream this morning. It's absolutely spot on. Really, really appreciate it. And it's great to have you on here, mate, and get involved. The way we factored old and new stock is by averaging out the cost of old stock and old new. That's interesting. See, there you are. That's what this channel is about. It's amazing the people that come on here and start talking about these sorts of things because they've done other jobs in the past. There we are, like this. So it's good to have you on it. This channel is for contractor and consumer alike. It's not just about the contractor, and it's here to support. Hey guys, I'm going to say that word again. Those two words. Mental health, that's all we hear, isn't it, at the moment, mental health, but it's important, isn't it? But the thing that I'm confused about is you can have anxiety, but it doesn't mean to say that your mental health is bad. Anxiety is a way for the body, the brain to protect. There's nothing wrong. We got to look at this in a bit more in depth. Anxiety is good. It's not a bad thing. It's how we handle the anxiety. Anxiety is a way of the body to protect itself. Worrying and being concerned about a situation, what's happening. And that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. So next time you get anxious about something that you're going down the lane, you think is a bit tight, and your hands start sweating, that's good. If you was going down the tight lane at 100 miles an hour, right, and your hands wouldn't sweat and you didn't have anxiety, then I would be concerned, okay? All right, anxiety is good. It's not always a bad thing. Try and think about these things in slightly a different way. It really is important to start to understand that when we have these things that we think that are bad for us, they're good. It's not a bad thing. You know, traveling on a long journey on a bus, I always got anxious about being in that enclosed space because I didn't like it, you know, but it was a good thing because, you know, it's not always a bad thing to think that, you know, you want to get off the bus. It's just a natural thing. So let's not get confused between mental, you know, this is just my advice. This is my opinion, right? Is let's not just get hung up on mental health. You know, people talk about mental health as if it's a real bad thing, as if we're in a real mess. But we're not. We're not in a mess like we probably think we are. Ali says he sat in the garden, still procrastinating about laying my first porcelain slabs. Do it, mate. Just do it. Honest. You've seen so much on it. You've got some support on this channel. If you want to do a FaceTime later on or do a WhatsApp, I'm there for you, bud. There's no problem at all. The way you've actually there, so it's good. Alan, just do it, mate. Just get on there and do it. It's a great day for it. When working in the sun as well, it can be detrimental to your work, just as what the inclement weather conditions is, i.e. wet weather and frost. The sunshine can actually suck all that moisture out. Think about how much water you're putting in that moisture. I mean, it drives me insane. It really does. Sigalai says, Steve says, I'm sure we've all woke up in the middle of the night and the next 8 jobs we've got booked in our heads until the sun comes out. Yeah, we have. It happens all the time. Do you know, Steve, for me, it's when I sleep and I'm thinking about these things in the nighttime, I'm problem solving. You may not necessarily have your rest, but you're problem solving and it helps you. It always helped me. I get up in the morning and it was like that eureka moment. Ping! I just thought I'd worked out what route I was going to take, how I was going to schedule it, how I was going to get around it. And, you know, and in the event of things not going exactly how I wanted it to be, is that what would happen is I'd have the second best. You'd always have a contingency plan in your head, and that's how I used to work out, and I still do now. So thanks for that, Steve. I really appreciate your comment there. Chris C says anxiety is a symptom of sick body mind. Look for the cause. Love it. I love it. This channel is about promoting dialogue. Absolutely fantastic dialogue. Chris, love that feedback. Absolutely wonderful. Going to read that again. Anxiety is a symptom of sick body mind. Look for the cause. Yeah, what's causing it? Absolutely. Ali says, I've been thinking about the water content with the hotter weather for my mortar bed. When you're working in these conditions, don't put too much water in there. If you're not using it, put a sheet over it, cover it up, but just only mix what you can manage. As soon as you've got that slam on top, the sun's not getting to it. So you've got to think about it. Only use what you need to. If you're going to do something, do that right. Everything you do, every step. You don't need to mix up copious amounts of mortar to get on it. Got somebody who wants to join me in here in a moment. Sickle Steve says, same as mate. Spot on. Spot on. It is, isn't it? We've got to think in that way. I'm just thinking about what we said, Steve, and what we was talking about, yeah. And you always have those contingency plans about everything you do. It's amazing on here how, I've used that word so many times this morning, but it is amazing, seriously, how we've spoke about so many things. Wouldn't it be good sometimes if we could speak about one conversation, one topic all the way through? It'd be brilliant. I'm thinking of mixing slabs worth at a time. Yeah, Ali, listen, do one slab at a time, mate. And if do you think I can have a bottle of water?
Maybe.
It's playing hardball. So yeah, Ali, you're spot on. You've just summed it up there perfectly. Just mix that for one slab at a time. That's all you need to do. If you do that screed mix, do the moisture test, and if you roll it up like a cricket ball and it stays together, if you throw it down and it's still sort of all together, you know you've got the right moisture in there. That's how you want it. You don't want to be mixing any more than that. Ali says, any issues laying slabs over a period of AC 2 weeks? No, not at all. Rome wasn't built in a day, mate. Honest, that's absolutely fine. Just take your time. But wherever you start, you need to start right. That needs to be the benchmark for the rest of the garden. Think about lines, setting lines up, running from A to B. So say, for example, if you're starting from the house, thank you very much, you set those string lines up, tight pin, but always check it every time you go back to do some work. Check those pins, A to B, And then what you can do, if you set up another 2 pins and you run them parallel, what you can do, you can tap your level down to the next line, or a straight edge, or another string line. So one used as a transom. You just go up and down with it, right? But just set some lines up, have something to work to. Okay, the British standard for porcelain, they say, is 1 in 60, but it's ridiculous. Honest, it's absolutely ridiculous. And the only way to do that, right, is to actually check that out. Go online and see what that is. I would have it about 1 in 70. Sandstone is 1 in 80. But what you've got to think about is you can fall in different directions as long as the water's not set. You've got to also remember is that porcelain has water tension, so water does sit on it. But make sure it's not sinking in the middle. Ali, take your time with it, mate. Just take your time. Yes, mate, I spent 2 days laying lines. La, I do love you. I love you too, bud. Yeah, just take your time, set those lines up. And what you need to do, don't stand from above and thinking that level's touching the line. You've got to get down and you've got to look and just keep tapping until that line goes down. And what I would suggest now, right, until you get going, is get your bed ready for your first slab. Don't slurry the back first. Put your slab down, tap it down, try to achieve what you're looking for. And once you've done that, pick the slab back up. If there's any voids then underneath, you can fill them, fluff it up again a little bit so you get that sinking into it. Slurry your slab and then put your slab back down and then tap it into position, and you'll be finding you know that you've got a solid bed underneath. We've at the hour mark. I should be saying I'm going now, but I'm not, because there's 9 live viewers. You've had 16 likes. Chris C says, governments are spraying chemtrails that make us sick. Look up. Chemtrails. Chris, I want to know a little bit more about that, mate. I want to know a bit more about that. Hey, guys, I've discovered I know it's been going on for some time, but in America, they use this thing called roller compacted concrete. It's basically a lean mix. And they use it in the old tarmac machines, the old Barber Greens, as we call them, or those Blornoxes, those big tarmac machines where the tarmac would go into that big skip holding area, and then it would feed through the machine, compacting it down. And then what they do, they go over it with rollers. And basically, they're building these roads, and sometimes they're not even putting tarmac on the top. The road is a suitable road. They can use it. They're rolling it. They give a bit spray, and they use 3-ton, 10-ton rollers. They go over it, but it's absolutely solid, right? That is a lean mix, okay? So I've spoken about this so many times. When you're building your horizons, your sub bases, even your sub base, even your mortar bed, it needs really, really compacted, and you need compressive strength. Compressive strength will actually stop like moisture migrating through. You can't stop it all, but it will be at a lesser rate than what it would be if you did your mixes in a mixer, because when you do it in a mixer, you put too much water in there and you get that honeycombing effect. You create voids in your mortar, and then the moisture rises up, and the bigger the void, that's where you're going to have that freeze thaw effect, and it can be sort of detrimental. It really can. Look, if you're thinking about having a patio, right, and you need some advice, I'll have a chat to you. If you want some in-depth advice, I'd have to charge you to come and see you or talk to you if it was in-depth. But if you want a quick chat, you can speak to me. Remember, time is money. It's as simple as that. We don't survive without it. We can't give all our time away. I will look it up, Chris. I will look that up. One more question, mate. Cement and ratio, 4 to 1 or 5 to 1? 5 to 1. 5 sharp, 1 cement. That's all I would do. Semi-dry. You put a little bit of moisture on it. You can mix it in the wheelbarrow. You mix it on the floor. If you mix it in the wheelbarrow, it's not going to get contaminated. Just turn it over dry initially, so the cement mixes in. You get that evenness in the appearance. So it's like a greeny mix, not too strong. 1 cement. 5 shovels of sharp sand, turn it over, then add a little bit of water. Don't add the water during. That's it. I'm going to have a little cold drink now. I want to know, can anybody tell me what else are you all doing the weekend? Thinking the 2 bucket method. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Measure in good quantities. That's the best way to do it. And Ali, honest, mate, just do it as you're doing. No, thanks you. God bless you. Good luck for the future, he says. And I really appreciate it. That's great. Love you, brother. All of you. Thanks for joining. It's been great having you on here. let's make sure that I'm here next week. I don't know if I'm going to be at Heathrow. I'm going to be heading out to Barcelona, but I'm going to be sharing some stuff with you from Barcelona. Get on my social media. It's Greentop Landscapes on Instagram. And please don't forget to share and like. And please get some people to subscribe. Share the channel. It'd be good to get some more subscribers. Have a great weekend. See you soon. Be safe. Cheers. Dave, you just joined. No, thanks to you. Cheers, bud. The big FB, great live again. I'm telling, tidying the steps to the patio weekend. Let's get a WhatsApp of that. I want to see it. Sickle eyes working again. Ah, Steve. Hey, you deserve it. Cheers, bud. Be lucky. Stay safe, guys. Have a great day. All the best. Bye-bye.